It's been nearly 10 years since I started watch collecting, and it's funny how you know yourself in the beginning very well, even though you think you don't. And then the more you start collecting, you realize that you don't even know what you're collecting anymore. Because you start trying to tick off boxes and you start trying to get pieces that are safe. And at the time, I didn't realize that that's what this was. In a way I did, but I guess didn't want to admit it to myself. It's not supposed to be more of I guess you would call it just a safe investment, because at the time I was very conscious about how much money I was dumping into watches and I just wanted to keep my money safe, because I was trying to, I guess, legitimize the hobby in the eyes of those around me, so that way I didn't get criticized for it. But just jump right in. This is the classic 2531.80 Seamaster. As you can see, it is the blue dial, blue bezel configuration with the classic wave dial, skeletonized hands, beautiful blue insert, 9-piece tank tread-like bracelet, classic Seamaster bracelet. We have a machine swing arm. We have a nice machine clasp with diver's extension. As you can see, the watch has very many scratches, and it's been very well worn and loved. This watch came from an original owner, and it was unpolished. And in 2021, I sent it out for a service and showcase all the little bits and bobs. Here we have the cushion that comes in the box. I have the extra links and the hang tags over here. Extra spring bars. We have the replacement parts. After I sent it in for a service with Omega, they replaced the click springs, the crown, the helium escape valve, all that stuff. Over here we have the manual. And we have the 3 cards that come with it: chronometer card, pictogram card, international warranty card. The leatherette sleeve is flaking, as well as the boxes, so I'm trying to be as careful as I can be. But jumping back to the watch and my personal experience with this watch, I absolutely love this watch. I could not talk any more highly about it. Its thin, elegant profile at 11.7 millimeters. Its 20 millimeter lugs and 41 mil diameter make it a very good watch, and just a very elegant experience as far as where you can see the beautiful wave dial. Those hands are crazy on this dial. If you catch it at certain lights, it looks like they're just like at the bottom of the ocean, and they're like a little treasure that you have to dive down for. I've owned this watch for about, it's been over 5 years. Wow. And in having it for such a long amount of time, it really kind of, I guess, shaped my collection in a way, because I went to own a lot more Seamasters after this watch. I went to own the No Time to Die Seamaster, the 2255 Seamaster, the green dial ceramic Seamaster, and recently this year I've acquired the Seamasters that have replaced this watch. And they've replaced it not because of how much better they are, but as they replaced it in wearing experience and in fitting better than this one on my wrist. So I have a 6 1/4 inch wrist. There you could see. It is, I would say it is on the edge of what I could possibly wear that I could pull off casually, but I recognize that it has its shortcomings due to its size on my wrist. I believe if you have a 6 1/2 inch wrist or bigger, this watch is perfect for you. But since owning this, I recognize that I can't wear the 42 mil Seamasters, even though I've had all the other Seamasters. I've since sold all of those, and this is my goodbye with this one too, because I will be parting ways with it. And like I said, I sold it not because of it being a bad watch, but I sold it more so because of the wearing experience for me. Here's the watch that is technically replacing this watch in my collection. So this is the Omega 2232.80. This is the mid-size version of the Casino Royale Seamaster. My initial intentions of purchasing this watch was due to I didn't want to buy something so similar to this because I already had it. So I said, what could be different enough? But I still wanted the aluminum bezel and all that. So when I spotted this reference, I said, this is the one. Since it has applied logos, applied indices, and it's 36 mil, I decided to go for this one. Put this down for a second, and so you could see what I was saying in regards to it fitting me better. As you can see, it is a much more pleasant wearing experience for me. The lugs don't overshoot my wrist. The watch sits perfectly. This watch fits me how a 41 would fit somebody with about 6.5 to 6.75 inch wrists, possibly. I think this is how it would fit. I believe this is how a watch should fit, especially if you have a smaller wrist, that it doesn't overshoot, that it doesn't feel like you're compensating for something. I've enjoyed this watch so much though over the years. I bought the blue rubber strap for the new one and fitted it on here. I wore it on many different NATO straps. I've taken it to the beach. I've worn it extensively, especially day to day at work. I'm just enjoying it and just loving all the curves and the organic shape of this watch. Scallop bezel too. It's just an overall amazing experience of a watch. Omega really did do amazing things in the early 2000s with their Seamasters, and I believe they're very heavily underrated. I do believe they should be these ones should be at least worth $3,500 to $4,000 on the secondary market. Only reason being that they're not even up there is because there's so many of them they were produced, which is amazing. So you could always get your hands on one of these. But it does have a 120 click bezel. I'll bring it up to the mic so you could hear. The scallop bezel does make it a little bit difficult to turn, but I think if you catch it right, you'll be able to spin it, and once you get it started, just don't stop. Otherwise, it'll be a little bit difficult to get going again. The only downside, honestly, to this watch would be the pin and collar system for the sizing, because everything else is basically amazing. Solid end links, solid links, nicely machined clasp with the dive extension. It's one of the things that sometimes happens as they get older. Usually you'd have to stretch this section here out again, so that way this would be tight. You can see there's a little bit of play there. If you stretch that out a little bit, the extension itself would be tighter and not come undone. Beautiful watch, and due to the fact that this still features the Cal 1120, which is an ETA 2892 base movement, it wears thin and elegant, and it's just crazy that you see little details with this watch, especially because of how thin the movement is. If you could see right there, you'll see that the hand stack is very close to the dial itself. Catch a little bit of that iridescence from the aluminum insert. And you'll see with my new 2222 Seamaster, you'll see that due to the Cal 2500D, the hand stack comes a little bit more off the dial because of the coaxial escapement. I'll be selling the watch, but in the end, there's there's just a lot of memory stored with it, but I recognize that the 36 mil mid-sizes just have a better wearing experience for me, and I think it's best to sell it off to somebody else who would actually enjoy the watch and actually appreciate it more so in their day-to-day life than I have. Ever since the beginning of this year, I've just accepted the fact that I do have 6 1/4 inch wrists and that I just like smaller watches. I'll put it this way. I sold my 36 mil 114270 Explorer to fund the purchase for my No Time to Die Seamaster, and there's like a 90% chance I'm gonna end up back in an Explorer because of just the way it fits and the way it wears for me. And I'm just very happy that there is a mid-size option, that I'm not left without a Seamaster per se. And this is just an overall better experience for me. Nothing to take away from this watch. This watch is beautiful, and without this watch would not exist. I just want to say thank you guys for actually holding out this long and listening to my story about my personal experience with this watch. If you have anything you'd like to add to the video, or any stories that you'd like to share about your experience with this watch, or people you may have known that own this watch, please feel free to share. And again, thank you. You guys take care.